Welcome to Cheater Confessions. Let's get started with today's story. My name is Aaron. Monica and I had been together for almost 4 years. We lived in my condo, a clean place on the 4th floor with big windows. To outsiders, we looked solid. Weekend dinners, photos on social media, her hand on my arm at work events. People said we were lucky. Inside the home, the air felt different. Monica cared about how everything looked, not how it felt. She watched what I wore, asked about my income, asked why I did not look into bigger companies. She spoke in polite tones, but the message was sharp. "You could do more, Aaron. You just don't push yourself enough," she said one night, scrolling on her phone without looking at me. "I'm doing fine," I replied, washing a plate at the sink. "Fine isn't impressive," she answered. Over the last few months, her phone never left her hand. She stepped into the bedroom for calls. She smiled at the screen, that small, private smile that does not belong to you. When I asked who she was talking to, she said, "Friends from work," or "people from a project." On Wednesday evening, she came home with fake excitement. "I got invited to a business seminar out of town," she said as she dropped her bag. "2 nights, important people. It's a big step." "That's good," I said. "Where is it?" "Riverview, about 2.5 hours away," she replied, already moving to the closet. She showed me an email on her phone. Logos, times, a hotel name. Nothing I could question without looking paranoid. "It'll help my career," she added. "Then you should go," I said. Thursday night, I helped her pack. She moved fast, quiet, distracted. When my hand touched her shoulder, she stiffened for a second, then pretended nothing happened. Friday morning, she rolled her suitcase to the door. "Text me when you arrive," I said. "I will," she answered, giving me a quick kiss that felt rehearsed. The door shut behind her. The room stayed still. Something didn't feel right, but I didn't chase the thought. 2 days later, that feeling would prove me right. Friday night passed slowly. I ordered food, sat on the couch, and tried to enjoy the quiet. The television played in the background, but my focus kept drifting to the empty spot beside me. Monica sent one short text around 9. "Made it. Busy already." Nothing more. On Saturday morning, my phone rang. "Aaron," my friend Ethan said, his breath uneven. "I need a favor. I'm doing medical deliveries today, and I'm barely keeping my eyes open. Ride with me for a bit. Help me stay awake." "You sound like a mess," I replied. "Where do I meet you?" "Outside the pharmacy on Grant Street." 20 minutes later, I was in his car. The back seat was packed with insulated containers and sealed packages. "Thanks for coming," he said. "You're saving my life." "It gets me out of the apartment," I answered. "Fair trade." We spent a few hours driving through the city. He handled the packages, I handled the navigation, traffic, side streets, apartment numbers. We talked about nothing serious, sports, old coworkers, anything that didn't involve my quiet home. Near the end of the route, his phone rang. His face changed. All color drained from it. "What happened?" I asked. "My daughter," he said. "She collapsed at practice. They're taking her to the hospital right now." "Drive, now," I told him. "There's one last delivery," he said, gripping the steering wheel. "Medication. Urgent. I can't leave it undelivered." "Give it to me," I said without thinking. "I'll finish it." He hesitated for half a second, then shoved the work phone and the insulated bag into my hands. "Downtown. New high-rise. Name on the job is L. Carter," he said. "Top floor. Please, man." "Go," I said, stepping out of the car. He sped away as I slid into the driver's seat. The GPS lit up with the address, a building I didn't recognize. I drove across town, traffic clearing as I got closer to downtown. When I pulled up, the place looked expensive, the kind of building that didn't accept mistakes. I grabbed the bag and walked inside. "Delivery for L. Carter," I told the front desk. The guard glanced at the screen, then nodded. "Top floor, elevator on the right." The ride up felt longer than it should have. When the doors finally opened, music drifted down the hallway. And for the first time all day, that strange feeling from Friday came back, heavier now. I stepped out, walked toward the door, and raised my hand to knock. I knocked once, sharp and quick. Footsteps sounded on the other side. The door opened halfway. Monica stood there. She was wearing a loose gray t-shirt that fell to mid-thigh. It was not hers. Her hair was tied in a messy knot. No makeup, no jewelry, no expression for a full second, just blank surprise. She looked past me at first, like she expected a stranger. "Delivery," I said, holding the bag up. Her eyes focused. Recognition hit. The color dropped from her face. "Aaron," she whispered. The door opened wider. Behind her, a tall man stepped forward. He was barefoot, towel around his neck, water on his shoulders. "Who is this?" he asked, looking at her. Monica didn't answer him. Her eyes stayed on me. "What are you doing here?" she said, sharper now. "Why are you here?" I glanced past her shoulder. The suitcase sat near the wall, the same one I had carried to the door on Friday morning. "I came to finish a delivery for a friend," I said calmly. "I didn't expect it to be here. I didn't expect to find you either." The man studied my face. "Do you know each other?" There was a stretch of silence. "He's just—" Monica started. "I'm her boyfriend," I said, cutting through the air. "We live together." His eyes narrowed. He glanced at her. "That's not what you told me," he said. She stepped closer to me, creating space between him and herself. Her voice lowered. "This isn't the place to do this," she said. "You're embarrassing me." "Then maybe you shouldn't be here," I replied. The man crossed his arms. "You said you were single," he said to her. "You said the last one wouldn't let go." She turned fast. "That's not what I meant." "Is it?" I asked. "Because you left our place 2 days ago for a business trip. I helped you pack. I paid for the ride to the hotel. Now I find you here." Her mouth opened. Nothing came out. The man took another step back, like he was finally seeing the scene clearly. "You told me your name was Monica Carter this weekend," he said. "You said you just needed space." "Lucas," she said, panic rising. "It's not what it looks like." "It looks exactly like something," he answered. I held the bag out and placed it on the floor between us. "Delivery completed," I said quietly. Her eyes filled, but I didn't react. "Aaron, listen. You have 24 hours, I said evenly, stepping back. "Pack your things from my condo. After that, I'm done." Lucas spoke again, voice cold. "You're not staying here either. Not tonight. Not ever." Monica stood frozen. 2 lies had just collided. One of them had to fall. I turned around and walked back down the hallway. I didn't run. I didn't look back. By the time I reached the lobby, my hands were steady again. Outside, I stood for a moment beside the car and let the silence settle in. Then my phone buzzed. It was Monica. I didn't answer. Another call, then a message. "Aaron, please. This is not how it looks. Just come back up. Let me explain." I drove home. When I walked into the condo, it looked the same. I sat at the table and called a locksmith. "I need the locks replaced today," I told him. "As soon as possible." "No problem," he said. 2 hours. While I waited, another message appeared. "Lucas misunderstood the whole situation. He's just a coworker." That was clean. That was practiced. I deleted it. When the locksmith arrived, I let him work in quiet. He didn't ask questions. He switched the locks, tested the keys, handed them to me. The condo felt sealed. After he left, I started packing. Not out of impulse, out of process. I moved through the rooms and placed her clothes into large bags, one section at a time. Closet, bathroom, drawers, desk. I didn't mix items. Everything kept its order. Everything left my hands clean. It was dark by the time I finished. Finally, the doorbell rang. I checked the camera. Monica stood outside, hair undone, no makeup, eyes frantic. There was no anger in her this time, only fear. She tried the key. It didn't work. She knocked harder. "Aaron, please open the door." I stayed where I was. She slid down the wall, sitting against it in the hallway. "I have nowhere to go," she cried. I picked up my phone, typed one final message. "Your things will be in the parking lot at 9 a.m. Afternoon, they go to donation. Do not come back up here again." I watched as the words went from delivered to read. Her head fell forward. I stood up and walked into the bedroom without saying another word. 3 years ended with the click of a lock. At 9 the next morning, I carried the first load downstairs. I stacked the bags and boxes in neat rows beside the parking line, like luggage after a long flight. Each trip up and down the stairs pulled another piece of her out of my space. By the last run, the condo felt lighter. A white sedan turned into the lot at 9:20. Her friend, Sarah Whitman, stepped out first. Monica moved slowly from the passenger side. She looked smaller somehow, tired. No phone in her hand, no confidence in her shoulders. They stared at the pile. "You didn't have to do it like this," Sarah called up to the balcony, even though she knew I wasn't outside. I stayed behind the glass. Monica walked closer to the bags. Her hands hovered over the plastic as if she didn't recognize any of it. She didn't cry. She didn't yell. She just opened one, stared at her clothes, then closed it again. "You should have talked to him," Sarah whispered to her. "There's nothing to talk about," Monica muttered. They started loading the car. It was slow, almost 4 years squeezed into a back seat and trunk. Sarah cleared her throat. "Where are you going now?" "I don't know yet," Monica replied. "Maybe my cousins. Maybe my mom." They finished loading the last bag. The car dipped under the weight. Sarah climbed into the driver's seat. Monica looked up toward the building one last time. For a split second, our eyes met through the window. I didn't move. The car pulled away. I stayed at the railing a little longer, then stepped back inside. The door shut quietly. No echo, no voice, no phone ringing. Just space. When I sat on the couch, I noticed something new. Silence didn't feel lonely. It felt earned. I expected noise after she left. Slamming doors, rumors, an angry parade of messages. Instead, the first few days were quiet. Then, the questions started. "Hey man, are you okay?" One of my coworkers texted. "Did something happen with you and Monica?" Another asked. I kept my answers short. "We're done. She lied about a trip. I found out. Nothing more." Across town, Monica was doing damage control. I heard it in fragments first. Sarah mentioned she was not in a good place. A mutual friend said they had seen her crying at a cafe, explaining that I had lost my temper and thrown her out. The problem was, the details in her story didn't line up. Then Lucas texted me. "She told people you trapped her in the apartment and attacked me. None of that is true. I have messages that prove she lied to me for weeks." I stared at the screen for a moment. Then I replied, "Send them." Seconds later, screenshots came through. Monica calling herself single. Monica describing me as unstable. Monica asking him to save her from a life she was still living. I didn't post them publicly. I sent them to 3 people who had reached out to me with doubts. Just facts. No captions. No added emotion. Within hours, the messages I received changed tone. I had no idea. She told a different version to me. "I'm sorry for assuming anything. The city is a small place in some ways. Stories leak. Truth moves faster than lies when there's evidence behind it." By the end of the week, Monica stopped showing up to group dinners. She was removed from a small freelance team connected to one of Lucas's contacts. A mutual acquaintance told me she had tried to take down old photos from social platforms, but it was too late. People had already seen, already connected the dots. She called once from a new number. I didn't answer. She emailed. I deleted it. Sarah stopped speaking to half the group. Lucas blocked Monica everywhere. Her carefully built image cracked in public. I didn't celebrate. I didn't feel revenge. All I felt was distance growing between me and the person she used to be. And that distance felt safe. The silence didn't last. On Wednesday morning, right in the middle of a video call with my supervisor, my screen froze. The sound cut. The connection dropped. I checked the modem. All lights were off. I reset it. Nothing. My phone buzzed at the same time. An email from the provider came through. "Your service has been canceled per your recent request." I contacted support immediately. There was a cancellation submitted through the account portal, the agent said. Correct security answers were used. Security answers only one other person knew. Monica. It wasn't emotional anymore. It was calculated. An hour later, my service was restored. The account was locked under new credentials, and I had a full record of the unauthorized change request. Time, IP address, confirmation number. Everything saved. That afternoon, I drove to Sarah Whitman's apartment. I parked, stepped out, and walked to the front door. I knocked once, then again. Sarah opened it slowly, eyes guarded. "She's not here," she said too fast. Monica appeared behind her, hand already near the wall like she expected impact. I didn't move toward her. I held my phone up and played the audio of the service call with permission from the company, then followed it with her father's saved voicemail from the previous week, threats he had sent when he learned about the breakup. Their faces changed. Fear replaced arrogance. "This ends now," I said calmly. You cancel one more account, you send one more message, you involve one more family member, and I take this to the police and file for harassment. The records are complete. The evidence is permanent." Sarah swallowed hard. Monica stepped forward, voice cracking. "Aaron, I just wanted you to feel what I felt. You abandoned me." "No," I said. "You abandoned honesty. You abandoned respect. The moment you lied about that business trip, you ended it." She reached out. I stepped back. "We could still fix this," she whispered. "There is nothing left to fix," I replied. "Not today, not ever." I turned and walked away before either of them could speak again. No shouting, no drama, just an ending they could not twist. 2 days later, I sat in the same living room where Monica had once paced and judged everything in sight. But the air had changed. No phone vibrating on the counter, no sharp comments drifting in from the hallway, no need to explain myself to someone who already decided I wasn't enough. I poured a glass of water and leaned back. For the first time in a long while, I didn't feel watched. Messages had stopped. No new numbers, no emails, no second attempts. Monica had vanished from my world the way a bad dream fades in the morning. I heard from someone that she had moved to her aunt's house outside the city, that she lost 2 contracts and had to pull out of a professional group she once bragged about, that her circle had gone quiet around her. I didn't ask for details. I didn't need them. I remembered how excited she had sounded about that business trip, the way she had smiled like something better was waiting for her outside our door, how she had told me, "This is where things change." She was right about one thing. Things had changed, but not in the way she had planned. I walked through the condo, noticing small, peace-filled details. No need to impress, no need to perform. That night, I didn't check my phone before sleeping. I didn't think about her with anger or regret. She didn't deserve either one. All that was left was a simple truth. She had left for a business trip. 2 days later, I found out who she really was. And that was the day I finally stopped living for someone else. Thank you for watching.